well, nothing goes how I planned. Things I'm going through, nobody really understands. Well, I've been kicked, well, I've been down, but I live to fight another round. Yeah, I stood my ground, and I'm stronger now. Well, I keep fighting, I won't be silent. So many chapters in my life that still need writing. I just keep driving, keep my eyes on the horizon, knowing soon I'm gonna find that silver lining. Just like Daniel and the lions, David and Goliath. The devil says I'm done, but I won't buy it. Well, I'm surviving. Have you ever been forgotten about or left behind? You wanted to run, decided to stand and fight. You played the fool, you've been abused. You might not have a thing to prove, but I hate to lose. So I tell you what I'm gonna do. Well, I keep fighting, I won't be silent. So many chapters in my life that still need writing. I just keep driving, keep my eyes on the horizon, knowing soon I'm gonna find that silver lining. Just like Daniel and the lions, David and Goliath. The devil says I'm done, but I won't buy it. Well, I'm still fighting. I just keep fighting. Well, I'm still fighting. I won't be silent. So many chapters in my life that still need writing. I just keep driving, keep my eyes on the horizon, knowing soon I'm gonna find that silver lining. Just like Daniel and the lions, David and Goliath. The devil says I'm done, but I won't buy it. I won't buy it. The devil says I'm done, but I won't buy it. Well, I'm still fighting. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the broadcast. And if you're just joining me, share this out there. Share it out there. I am doing a three-way kind of live going on here. So share, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be beginning shortly. Shortly, we will be starting our live. And I think we have... robbing billions of people of trillions of dollars a year, folks. We have a lady coming in. There is no need for austerity measures. There is no need for financial suffering. No need for poverty. There is no scarcity. We are simply the victims of a robbery of unimaginable proportions. We have been fed a lie so vast it oppresses all of humanity. How are you? The truth is, there is more than enough to go around. 60 years ago, productivity was increasing so fast, they predicted by today, entire families could live comfortably on the income of just one provider, working only 10 hours a week. They wondered what we'd do with all of our spare time. What happened to that dream? Turns out they were right. What took a full work week back then can be done in just 10 hours today. We have technologies that multiply our efforts 1,000-fold and connect us in ways they never imagined. We are now 100 times richer than in that great heyday of the 50s. We are heirs to a great bounty of prosperity. 70 trillion in the U.S. alone. Over $200,000 for every man, woman, and child. The only reason we don't experience this wealth is because it's being siphoned away by a corrupt criminal class. They loot through giant corporations, raising prices, lowering wages, stealing the fruits of our productivity. Where once whole families prospered with just one provider, now both parents work, delivering 8 times the productivity but struggling to make ends meet. They control the media using hot-button social issues to divide us, brother against brother, so we fight each other while they loot our sacred institutions. They make us fear too big to fail banks collapsing, but if they did, we'd suddenly recover the 8 times our income that's being siphoned away every single day. Don't give yourselves to these crooks who abuse you and enslave you, who Oh, somebody's calling me on the phone. Hang on a minute. Wait. Hello, Kevin. Hi.
Are you going on?
I'm on live right now.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Sleep is off our backs. Let us replace their corrupt systems with better systems that benefit everyone. Let us reclaim the fruits of our productivity. Let us share our prosperity. We can do this now. We are the creators. And when we come together, we have the power to create whatever future we want. Well, good evening. And how is everybody doing out there today in Canada? Our big Canada Day celebrations are, I imagine, going to be well underway. And I did a coffee video this morning regarding my thoughts regarding Canada Day. So I think we all know where I stand on that. You know, it's very funny in this country that we've got, hang on, we've got another caller, Kevin McKenzie. Hello, Kevin.
You're not on live.
Where am I not on live?
You're not on live on Facebook.
No, I'm sure I'm there. Here, I'll go down there and I'll share it. I'll share it out there.
Yeah, okay, well,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll get on there. I'll share it. Okay, I'm sure I'm live on Facebook here.
How did you do with the whole lockdowns and all that?
Just a minute. I will find it, and I'm just going to make sure that we're all out there. Okay. So we are where? Where are we? Facebook is, I don't see it yet. Hang on a minute. I don't see it yet. We should be on Facebook, and we should be on X, and we should be on YouTube. And I don't see it on Facebook either. I'm looking here for it. Let's see. I'm looking. Nope, I don't see it here either. Huh! I'm not seeing it, Kevin. I'm not seeing it. Well, isn't that something? I'm sorry for the delay here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new thing we're working with here. We're gonna work out some of the bugs here if we can quick. Oh, there I am. Okay, I've got it here. No, we just had to find the right page, and it's there. Now I'm gonna share that out there. Come on, posting. Okay, and I'm going to put it into the Ruddi Bruce broadcast group and a few others here. This is something that normally gets worked on when you hear the music, but because we're doing a different thing, you're just able to see me here going on here. Okay, now I'm gonna get. Okay, we've got my guest in the winds here. Let's see if we can bring in Adrian. Now, what do I do? Push this? Then what? Or what? Group thing. No, 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 damn it. I'm trying to bring you in here, Adrian. Okay, there's Kevin again. Just a minute, Adrian. I'm working on it here. Yes, Kevin.
You're still not on Facebook.
No, look in the Ruddi Bruce broadcast group. You'll see it.
I am.
I just posted it in there.
Yeah, no, you're not here.
It's not there.
No.
Okay, let me check it in a bit, Kevin. I got to try and figure out how to get Adrian in here.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Trying to figure out how to in. Okay, we're just a minute, Adrian. I'm trying to figure out how to. Oh no, he's just went. He's just gone out, and I think he's back. But wait a minute, I'm trying to figure out to get him in here. Um, just a minute. I'm pushing every button I can figure out here. I got it. Okay, there is. Are you in there now? Um, this one. Add to stay. I got it now. I got it now. Adrian, are you there?
Yeah, just hold on. I'm gonna put hi everyone.
We got
Oh,
it. Okay, we
there
got
you
it.
go.
Got it figured out. Ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen, this is Adrian. Adrian,
just
introduce
hold on
yourself.
up. My name is Adrian the Realist, Adrian Thomas. So I'm trying to put you on Facebook as well too. Just hold on.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just bear with us for a bit here. We're
I'm
working.
trying to put him on Facebook and X as well too. So
Yeah, we're
or
on X
Twitter.
too. I'm on X as well,
Yeah.
Facebook and YouTube.
Hmm,
So
perfect. I'm just
if if you
I
add me
added
to,
I added everything on here so far, and that's great. I'm trying to look at other destinations. Perfect. I'm done.
yeah, I'm good.
So how you
Um,
doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm in Saskatoon, and we are just waiting for things to come together and do things and get things out of the way and typical day to day stuff. But really, um, what are you working on lately? You're working on something very important coming up, aren't you?
And the Indianac Walk, and also it's in conjunction.
Hang on, Adrian. I've got. Hang on. Go ahead, Kevin.
You're not on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook.
No.
Well, I seen it and I posted it.
No, you're not on Facebook, and you're on YouTube though. Yeah.
I'm on YouTube, and what about X?
Yeah, you got 6 viewers.
Okay,
You
that's fine.
got zero. There's zero happening on Facebook.
Okay, I'll have another look at it quick.
Okay, man. Bye.
Okay, bye. Sorry, Adrian.
That's
Let's
totally
start.
fine.
Let's start this again because I want to make sure Facebook doesn't get. Are you? Oh no, you left. Okay, no, I'm there. It's there. It's there. It's running. It's there. Um, okay. Add to stage. There you are. Okay.
There you go.
No, it's there. It's there. I'm right there. I'm sharing it out now. He is live with me. I got to turn that volume down. There you are again. No, it's there. So if Kevin calls again, he's not getting it, and I've shared it out. I don't know how many times. Okay, where were we? We were on the. What are you working on again?
I am working on at the very moment, like I said, like I just got back from BC Quinnell. Quinnell. I
Mm-hmm.
was speaking up there on stage, and I was trying to. Well, I think I did get through to some people up there, but what I'm working on right now is this walk that it has a lot to do with the Indian Act walk, but in conjunction with no to the 15-minute districts, the white man reservation is what I
Mm-hmm.
like. I'd like to try to put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to bring that walk with the thought that hopefully we can bring some kind of awareness to Edmonton, at least start somewhere in a centralized place, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on at the very moment. Have to
Okay.
make certain that this is plugged in. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. No, I'm just going to put this into messaging. I'm not going to. No. Yeah. Hang on a minute. Okay. So there's another thing that I wanted to touch on, along with that walk, is the Indian Act. Okay, now you know more about that than I do, so I'm just gonna give you the floor. You start where you want to start. You say what you want to say, and I'm just gonna let you have the floor, and you just give me the cue when you figure you're done, and then I'll
Okay.
go there. So you go ahead. You take the floor, Adrian.
Okay, the Indian Act was designed after the treaties were in place. Uh, the Indian Act actually put us in reservations. The Indian Act segregated us. At first, like I always want people to understand, like Fort Edmonton, Fort Battleford, all these they used to be forts. All these major cities used to be forts at one time. And if anybody really wants to know, you look at every single textbook, and you'll always wonder why the Native Americans were inside the forts and all the civilization was around. That was our first 15-minute district, if you must know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, what they did was they allocated our nation to whatever set land, like our own concentration camp. The Indian Act made certain that we were not allowed off the reservation until 1951.
Wow.
The Indian Act also, what it did was instill residential schools. It's not the white people; it is the system of governance that put it so. The Indian Act also made certain that when we're in residential schools, they snip the umbilical cord of our culture and our language and our spirituality from our children and put them there so that way they can be colonized or try to, like they said, domesticate us in a certain way. The Indian Act gave us chief and council systems. We never had chief and council systems. We had like a chief, but the word chief is a European word. We used to grand elders or elders or it was like a even well, let's just say chief. And he never wanted to be a chief. It was instilled by the people, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So from that point on, the Indian Act gave us counselor systems, which are they say it's democracy within their own people, but they gave us enough rope to kill ourselves in regards to the monetized system of these governance systems. So now everybody wants to be a chief, but they're not smart, they're not whatever. So what happens is you have corruption.
Mm-hmm.
The Indian Act also made certain that we would never have big viable businesses and reservations at all. We would never. So if you have Dodge, Chev, whoever, Buick, Bombardier, you have all these corporations for manufacturing. Isn't it funny that they'll go to Mexico because they don't pay taxes, but when you really think about it, they can build their factories on a reservation if they don't have to pay taxes. But this is the thing that they don't want to do. They have to make certain that it's designed poverty and corruption within the reservation.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things. And also, when we started doing our farming, we had 3 to 4 times that we surpassed all expectations for farming, that we actually surpassed in the BIA, the Bureau of Indian Affairs in the United States. They already surpassed in the dirty 30s the Native Americans with their farming and cows and plows and everything. What they did was they surpassed the Caucasian farmer, but 3 times there was policy put on place for us.
Mm-hmm.
So what has happened is the Howard Wheeler Act came into the last thing that came in the United States, and what happened was it made certain that we weren't allowed. Our allotments became smaller, and that's what happened to us. We were not allowed to make yield on our farming and also our cattle production as well too. So basically, it just killed our system of governance or the economic aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is the Indian Act in that aspect when it comes in regards to economic policy that is set in place for us. So it's they would not allow us because from their point of view, you can't have a country within a country, making bread. So that's because they don't want us to be successful, because one of the things is we own a lot of territory, and underneath the treaty, we never relinquish territory. And this is the reason why it's illegal for me to run for federal party if I ever wanted to, because in Section 77 of the Indian Act, it states that you can have me run for, let's say, prime minister if I ever wanted to, because of the fact that you can have, just like, it's just like saying you're like the United States president can't run for premier or whatever in Canada, because that's just like, a different country trying to take over. So that's what they look at as I'm like a dual citizenship. I'm
Mm-hmm.
either sovereign nations, a tribal nation, or I'm Canadian. But even if I wanted to run federally, because I still have connection to tribal governance, it's not unless I relinquish my treaty status. I have to get that. So that's what it is on there. And it's kind of let's just say it's against me as a person. And like I said, the Indian Act is a racial piece of documentation. And what happens is with that, it's just complete control. It's just complete socialism. So that's what I want to say about the Indian Act. What it does to Native Americans, it is designed poverty, is designed oppression. It is designed to keep us unable to on our territory to be economically viable. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. So that's what the basis of the Indian Act really is.
Okay. Um, I think that what they did back then to you guys, I think they're doing a lot of that same playbook today. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it shows in a big way. They're the way they come out and assert their authority. You know, in charging people with trumped up charges and the rest of it. Okay. Um, so there's a lot of bad shit going on now. If the Indian Act was um, taken out, because that, I mean, that's one of the first things they got going in the country was the Indian Act, right? So
Yep.
by taking that away and stripping them of all the stuff they need to obtain or maintain power in this country, if we start stripping that away, what's your thoughts on that?
If we take away the Indian Act, then you unleash the Native American sovereignty within Canada, like Treaty Six Nations, all the way to Treaty 11. You give back the sovereign identity, and at the same time, too, maybe we can actually run federally and work with nationalism. That's the way we look at it. What they're trying to do with the conservatives is trying to have this 50-cent handshake. So I don't know if you guys seen Pierre Poilievre. What he is doing up in BC is it's called a 50-cent handshake, where the Native Americans don't have to go down to Ottawa to beg for their money that they made on their sovereign land. As a matter of fact, they can start collecting their own taxes and pay 50% back to Ottawa instead of them having to pay to Ottawa and bring it back, if that makes sense. I'm totally against that, especially with Pierre Poilievre, because the white paper has trying to been is they were trying to enact that since 1964. So what's really happening is when you intertwine the monetized system within a reservation and talking about taxation, never once has the government, ever relinquished its power. As a matter of fact, what it's really doing is trying to marry the two, the Native American nation into the federal government. So therefore, their enactments of United Nations declarations of rights and indigenous people could slowly take out the farmer system. The largest privatized what do you call land people across Canada is the farmers. So this is why they're instilling the 27 land stewardship acts across Canada within all farm privatized land, whether it's the marriage acts, death certificates, water, environmental acts, Métis settlement acts. So that's what they're trying to do. So they're putting pawns right around all the privatized farmlands, and they're going to try to use the Native Americans as weapons, and as not only that, as weaponize our image to destroy the privatized act, especially when it comes down to water and environmental clauses underneath the guise of whether it's carbon tax or the environmental policies. The truth is, it's all bullshit. What they're trying to do is what they're really trying to do is take over this land, and in every single land stewardship act, it talks about the Métis Settlement Act. We already knew in 1982, 1978 to 1982, before 1984 Accord, we talked to Jim St. Clair. You do not talk about the treaty because you're not treaty. Same thing. We talk about Inuit. Inuit were never treated to begin with. They're Second Nations. They're not First Nations. They're a different race. We have to respect them as so. And what they're trying to do is getting identifying Métis. Really not Métis. They are not Métis at all. They're trying to use their identity to take over Canada underneath Bill C-53. When you're looking at how much unceded territories across Canada, they're going to be using that with the Northwest Territories, the territories, and also what do you call the Treaty 1 to Treaty 11. They're going to try to take 1/3 of our treaty and also put it onto what do you call the policy of the self governance of Métis nations, and they do not have an Indian Act to govern them underneath the policy of whatever is deprivation or whatever it is. They are basically let's just say it this way: liberalized white people that are paid by United Nations to use our identity to take out land, water, and resources, so therefore they can sell it off to United Nations underneath the guise of what do you call the humanist aspect, which is not true. We got to be careful with definitions, especially when it comes down to these kind of things. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm going to play something here if I can find it. Just stand by. Okay, whatever. This stupid phone. Just a minute, Adrian.
No problem.
It'll be a voiceover. So I already preset this. So just hang on a minute.
Right now, Canada produces, you said, 708 million kilograms of CO2 every year, right? So what is something Canada has that consumes a lot of carbon?
Trees.
Trees. We have a lot of trees, don't we? So each mature tree consumes 22 kilograms of carbon every year. So I'll do the math. You would need about 30 billion trees to consume all the carbon in Canada every year, right? Canada has 320 billion trees. So by that math, even if I'm off by 90%, we're still already at net zero.
So you're claiming that we're already net zero?
We are already well below net zero, significantly, in fact. So tell me again, why we have a carbon tax? What's the purpose of the carbon tax?
So, okay, there you go. I just food for thought there. That's what kind of government we have. A government that is ripping us off for the money we earn calling it a carbon tax. They're basically taxing us for the air we breathe. And me and Adrian decided to team up, as far as team up our forces, and really give you people an eye opener, because we are dealing with a very corrupt government, and anybody that wants to come in here and belittle people and say stupid shit and not really clue into the fact that we are all in this fight together. I don't give a shit what color you are. As far as I'm concerned, if you were born in this country and you are a full-fledged Canadian, I'd fight shoulder to shoulder with you. But if you're an ignorant prick, then you know where the door is. What do you add to that, Adrian?
You know, I have a lot of these comments on here saying that I'm a climatized nutcase, but I'm going to tell you something. You guys will not have no power pretty soon if you guys don't get your head out of your asses, because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you know, they're going to weaponize Native Americans against you, and you guys do not actually have rights. At the end of the day, I'll say this. We already knew this 10 to 12 years ago, that the Native Americans were going to take back their land underneath the guise of the United Nations. And I don't like that at all, because I'm screaming nationalism. I scream nationalism all the time, because why do we need international organizations? Our government is so messed up that we actually gave up our health to World Health Organization. We
Mm,
also gave up our monetized system to what? The Federal Reserve, underneath the guise of what? The credit system, when we used to be a gold standard. This was in place a long time ago in 1972. It was also put into effect that now we have credit that we have to live by, and the bank system agreed with that. And this is why every single president from ever since 1972 said New World Order. This is
mm,
designed, and we want to warn the white people that what we actually went through is what you're going to go through. You're going to be living in your own white man reservation called the 50-minute districts.
mm,
And when you leave those 50-minute districts to other towns, you're going to have to start paying, not only at the the gas stations, but also you have to start uh, applying for the pink slip, which is like a permission slip to go to Saskatoon, wherever you want to go to. And now, since March of last year, Joe Biden signed into effect that all new vehicles leaving those lots have to have a kill switch. Go figure. You think you
mm,
guys are smart? You guys do not even know politics. If you want to learn anything, I say learn from your past, because what we went through is exactly what's going to go down to you guys, because there's absolutely your white pride and all the stuff. They're going to be using that against you. I dare anybody to walk down the street saying white pride, and they can't, because they're going to be using racism against you. And at the end of the day, I don't believe in racism. I believe in ignorance. At
mm,
one time, I was a savage Indian, and that's what they used. Now we're going to be one of the most powerful races here, because we actually have rights that you guys don't. You guys don't even own land. No offense, nobody owns land, because they have to pay taxes.
mm.
And this is what they're going to use to starve out everything. Bill Gates and all of them are buying. They're the largest privatized landowners right now. What do you call? Where's that province? Prince Edward Island. They buried 3 million pounds of potatoes, and
Yeah.
they made all these things that happen on the East Coast. The Liberal government bought the crab industry, or the lobster industry, or crab industry, for the Native Americans over there, because they're all underneath the guise of United Nations. And when you come to the Asma Nation, the West Coast here, they're going to make certain that the fishing industry is done underneath the guise of saving salmon, and they're going to give it to the Native Americans. And what's happening is, when they start making a fire in BC, you guys cannot stop it underneath the guise of environment and all these other things, emergency. So what happens is, they're going to burn out those territories for what? So
Mhm.
that way they can kick you off your land.
That's
Justin
right.
Trudeau did not come here for to save you. What I'm trying to say is, you guys are the new Native Americans now, and we want to help you. We want to sit there nationalism, not internationalism. So you guys can go get your head out of your asses and think that you guys have a say, because actually you don't. That's just
Exactly.
for the comments there. No offense, that's just how it is.
We are
I'm
stronger together than we are separated.
Yep.
Okay. And the government knows this. Okay. They know that if we all start joining together on a common front, okay, they then start shaking in their boots because they know it's coming. And I'm going to tell you, the way I'm looking at this, I'm thinking that Trudeau is right on Biden's heels as far as trying to get a World War III going on. Okay. And all World War III is going to be is just one big meat grinder. Okay. Because they're just going to try and use it as a guise of trying to kill people more so than what they did with COVID-19. That's what this big World War III is all about. How many people they can wipe out off the planet, and who's going to get wiped out? Not the guys with all the money, the big elites. No, no. It's going to be guys like us get wiped out off the planet. Okay. So it's time to pull your heads out of your asses. Okay. I mean, Trudeau obviously is trying to do some dirty shit. And he already lost that riding in Ontario. What was that riding he lost? Toronto, or some riding in Toronto. And they held it for 30 years. A Liberal MP held that riding for 30 years. They just got ousted out of there. Now there's a Conservative sitting in there. And he's still ignoring his party, and they're calling out to him, what do we do? What do we do? And he's completely ignored him. He's out on a little dancing spree there and all this kind of shit. This is the kind of narcissist this guy is, okay? So, I mean, he's not in any favor in any way helping Canadians. He's our downfall. And if we don't get together, he's going to be our downfall. Put it that way. Go ahead, Adrian.
Well, I love you guys' comments here. When he talks about what did they say that I was arrested. I don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
No, I think that
But
was for me when
oh,
I got arrested for not putting a mask on my face. That was in Chamberlain. And a few, back in 2020 or 2021 or something. And yeah, they snagged $1,900 off of me through my taxes. Okay, I
yeah.
didn't give it to them willingly, but I found out that that's the way they're trying to do it. So they just got to hang it over my taxes. I said, well, fuck,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to figure out some other way to go after him. Whatever.
I'm trying to look at this Duncan. He says, "Is this the same Adrian who was in jail for making threats to her Mo and Shanahan?" I don't know who the hell that is.
Who's that? What's his name?
I don't even know. It's totally fine. I like these kind of comments. Actually, I thrive in them. To be honest with you, because
Sometimes I do too. Most of the time, I kick them out and just that's it. I'm not gonna listen to that shit. But I mean, maybe they'll get an education tonight. I don't friggin' know. But it is Canada Day,
yeah,
and either you're getting allowed your free speech, put it that way, on the Ruddi Bruce broadcast, and feel fortunate because this is the only one time I'll ever let it come on my show. So otherwise,
I
I don't have time for it.
yeah. So I'm very well versed with the TPP and NAFTA agreement, and I do agree with Trump a lot of times when it comes down to free with the not the free trade, but he was the one that was trying to take it out with the tariffs and China and everything like that. And I don't think nobody really, like I said, if you want to learn politics, not only that, you have to also learn economics
Yeah,
and social. What do you call the social accord of what happens? See, this is why racism works so well. They shit on the Native Americans for such a long time that the Native Americans are not willing to stand up because whatever happened to us is going to happen to the white people, and they want to make certain that the white people lose their land. I, I, for one, on my end, I do not want the white people to lose their land. As a matter of fact, what I want is to have nationalism. Socialism is what's happening. Marxism is exactly what's happening. We have to free up our sectors when it comes down to the oil and gas sector. But right now, what's actually happening is those pipelines that in 2015 that were shut down with Justin Trudeau when he bought that is actually pushing out water. Isn't it funny that water, if you buy a bottle of water, is $3, and it's way more than gas now. You think
Mhm.
about that. It's really crazy. And I do support. Well, I don't really support Palestine or what do you call, or the Jewish aspect of what do you call, wherever, you know.
Mhm.
Um, the reason why is because that's not our fight. Our fight is no to Israel. Our fight really is trying to save this country. We need nationalism. We need to let those guys fight their own battles. Who the hell are we to police this world where we can't even take care of our own country? If that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
But neither here or there. I just wanted to say that we have to get back on the clause of understanding what's here. Um, why are we running around these countries, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine? You know, it used to be Palestine before Israel. All these things. Why are we trying to correct the world with what do you call, humanist ideologies when they're not? They don't give two craps about the humanist ideologies when it comes down to the school system. They want to make certain that everybody, is either gay or whatnot, and they taken away they destroyed the nuclear family. At the same time, too, now they're taking away the children, just like how they taken away our children for residential schools is what they're doing to you guys in your
Mhm.
guys' school system. They taking away the cross. They take away all forms of starting to take away all forms of religion and ideologies and moralities for what? Sexualization. And if anybody knows anything about politics, the last thing to fall is the perversion of sexuality. And then you lose your country.
Mhm.
So there's no moralities in Canada anymore. And they say it is moralities when you have an open border. But do we need an open border? No, we can't. A lot of these businesses are crashing. A lot of our bigger corporations are owned by BlackRock and all these other people down the line. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
these are the things that really I'll confront the big elephant in the room that everybody's saying, and everybody says, Adrian, you're a neo-Nazi Native American with a swastika. I say this, no offense to anybody. If we cannot point out that banking system, the Federal Reserve, this ideology of democracy is flawed based on, destroying liberties and freedoms in order to make slaves out of us all, then
Mhm.
we're going to lose this country. And this is why I say you have to have white pride and I have to have Native American pride to stand together because they're going to use your skin color and say that you're racist, which I believe you are not. We have to come together regardless of anything. I will not walk with any white person who cannot say white pride. There's nothing wrong with being proud of who you are. It's a beautiful thing. And if you are scared of your own shadow walking down the road in a public aspect of things, then you've already lost this country because they destroyed your image. Hopefully that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. There are a few people I've banned off. A couple people. They're off the wall, and they're only shit disturbers. If you want to be a shit disturber and I catch you, you're just doing that. You're not learning nothing. You're just a shit. In some of these comments, I've been knocking them off. Um, but I mean, if it's kind of something interesting, I wouldn't mind seeing some interesting comments. Um, so I'll say one thing about these immigrants that have come to Canada. You're on Canadian soil, first of all. You're here on this us taxpayers' dime, second of all. And we already have this battle in our country regarding a corrupt government. And you people that have come to this country, you're out there protesting for Palestine or Israel or something like that. You know, I mean, as Canadians, we tolerate that stuff because we stand on rights and freedoms. And if you're in Canada trying to participate as a Canadian, we offer that right to have freedom of expression, etc. But you also have to have the compassion to allow and accept Canadians doing what they're doing, especially when we're in our own country. You know what I mean? Like, have a little respect is what I'm getting at in that regard. If you have a fight with Palestinians or you have a fight with Israelis, That is not my fight. Okay, that's not what this show is about. This show is about our corrupted Canadian government and the Canadians. That's what this show is about. Okay, not about Palestine, not about Israel, and not about calling somebody racist names or anything like that. Because if I see that anymore, I'm just going to ban you from the broadcast. If you know what I mean. Carry on, Adrian. What do you think on that? What's your opinion on
I
that?
think it's designed. It is all designed. At one time, we used to be savage Indians. We used to be wagon burners. We used to be a lot of things until, up until recently. Recently. And, at one time, all the Middle East used to be terrorists and a lot of things. But up until recently, every 4 years, there's always a new agenda. Just like what happened in 1978 when Leonard Nimoy said there's an upcoming what do you call ice age, and then all of a sudden in the 90s and early 2000s, there's global warming. They found out that to be false. So
Mm,
now they call it what do you call climate change, and now the carbon aspect of it. People got to realize that if we go below 0.02, all life starts to die. We need carbon. That's the
yeah.
thing. We need freaking carbon. And what they really want to do is put policy on the privatization, the privatized land, which is the farmer's land. And if you're too small, you're not going to be able to make it out there. They'll give you special permissions. But what's happening is all these municipalities, they're all getting overtaken by third rate contractors that are designed, to take out the farmers. So I'm there for the farmer aspect. I love this society and everything like that, but we also have to redefine our monetized system. I, for one, would say this to even if there's a real prime minister, we need to end the Indian Act first and foremost. We have to come together on the identity of a new, what do you call, nationalist party and look at what we have in resources. That's water, land, animals, and, all these resources. There's three things need to be established. We need to have trade. That's one. Secondly, we have to have, no matter what, innovation. That's technology. That's the second thing. And the third thing that we must have is like, we have to have resources and understanding our resources. We have to bring our own corporations. We have to at least have at least 60% of all our corporations working for Canada. And I'd like to say 80%.
Mm,
Because, why should we send our oil down to the United States to get redefined and bring it back over to sell to us? Why is Justin Trudeau's family still part of Venezuelan, what do you call the oil over there and that family? You know what I mean? These are all the have and have nots. A long time ago in Europe, it used to be the rich versus the poor, but now it's just a bunch of reservations. What I mean by reservations, the mind aspect of LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter, murder missing Indigenous women, 215, racial identifying Muslims, and all these wars, and yet nobody's willing to put these things together. It's
mm,
all bullcrap. It's all designed so that way we think that we're actually fighting a war. No, we're not. The war is actually trying to put food in your fridge and paying
oh,
your rent. That's all it is, and that's what they're trying to do. Yet we have half our dollar is going down to the federal government, and yet we still lost the healthcare system. Like,
mm,
what the hell's wrong with that? There's something wrong. Totally
yeah.
something wrong. Justin Trudeau did not come here to save Canada. He come here to destroy it. He bought that pipeline. When that pipeline was going to go to BC, they used the Native Americans and the environmentalists to stop that pipeline from going through. As soon as they got to BC at that cove, they labeled that cove a bear sanctuary, and then they burnt Fort McMurray down. And then this
Yeah,
is
they
the
did.
rise of the trucker convoy. The trucker
Yeah.
convoy, there's a lot of good people in there, but I'd like to say this: NDP's involvement with the Asman Nations. The Asman Nations are the ones that actually made the trucker convoy, so therefore they can push that act of the Emergency Act and pull all these policies in the middle of the night. Bill C-11, Bill C-18, 2019, Justin Trudeau made it legal for you to tell a lie in the news when it used to be the difference. You always have to tell the truth. But
Mm,
now the truth is they are here to lose, to sell out Canada. We have this prime minister spent more billions than all prime ministers combined just so that way we can be lost in inflation. Inflation itself is the poison that's in the water, and this is how we're going to lose this country because it is designed that way. Inflation itself should be a gold standard, not credit. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they get their hands in everything. They've got their hands in everything, and we got, as Canadians, we've got to wise up to what they're doing, and it isn't in our favor. Okay, what they're doing is totally against what is should be. I mean, they're not doing anything for the homeless. I mean, per se. I mean, they're making it worse. Okay, I mean, you look at the cost of going to the grocery store or rent or anything nowadays, even the gas. I mean, these guys are just out for no good shit. This terrible what they're doing, and it shows in their politics as far as towards us, and then the money that they've stolen. And I say stolen because they've got their hands caught in the cookie jar with. A number of different things. Okay, that's in committee. RCMP are supposedly investigating all these little things. They're up on the wall, and it just keeps pouring out of Parliament how many the corruption period, how much of the corruption is pouring out of Parliament is on a daily basis. It's incredible. It's just I've never seen it so bad in all the time I've been here that it got this bad. I mean, we went through the recession in the 80s. This is making that look like, a cakewalk. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's terrible what they're doing. And I mean, it's constantly. So, I mean, they're not letting up. They're not going to stop until they are stopped. That's what I think.
That's true. And this government let 98,000 troops from China in. They're not allowed to have guns, but they're allowed to go anywhere on base if they wanted to. That's one. Second thing is 500,000 immigrants a year. I'm not against immigration, but then at the same time, too, if you're going to put the social credit score, put it on those bastards first. No offense, but they're
They
not going
did
to do
that
that.
by design. That's all by design.
Exactly.
That was an invasion to our country, and that's on top of everything. On top of the COVID scandal, on top of the SNC Lavalin scandal, and it just goes on and on. And it's just to make it as difficult for Canadians as possible. Okay, to really heighten that level of chaos amongst the people, so that the people are running in 10 or 20 different directions instead of coming together and really getting the target. Okay, they've got us going in that way. Divide and conquer is the best way to explain it in that sense.
Well, like I said, 10 to 12 years ago, when they were talking to the First Nations, the FSIA and AFN, chief and councils, all chief conferences with the Liberals and NDPs and the Green Party and all these people, you guys got to realize that none of these politicians are on your side. None of
Yeah.
them are on your side, and what they said is yes, racism works, and they're going to use the Native Americans against the white people now. And there's not a goddamn thing the white people can do because they're scared of their own shadows. No offense, but I'm here to say that I'm on that side, on your guys' side, because I like nationalism. I like to protect our water for our people, my grandchildren, your grandchildren,
Yeah.
everybody's grandchildren. We have to come together because this is not this is a $1 trillion industry with master politics, and they're going to use your emotions. The biggest retardation people have is emotions, thinking that, oh, we're going to go down to Israel and Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan to save these women from all this bullshit. They don't care. They never cared about women. It was always about oil and conquest and resources. But
Mm,
now that Greenback is going to fall because of the BRICS and Russia and China that are all signing to the BRICS, what
mm.
do they have left other than trying to find a new commodity, and that is water? Guess who has the most water in the world?
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
So these are the things that people have to know. And United States, they had 18 derailments, and what were they trying to do? Poison that water. And the
Mm,
East Coast, when there was TikTok videos of the governmental officials poisoning water and killing all those fish, why were they doing that? It has a lot to do with trying to make the commodity, okay, since the world is going out of a shortage of water, guess what's going to happen? We're going to start monetizing it, and they're going to put another, what do you call, a meter on our water. So
Mhm.
they use these aspects. They use identity politics, racism, fentanyl. Why did they decriminalize drugs? So that way, half the damn politicians or anybody that wants to stand, even these veterans, when they're talking about cannabis prescriptions, if they have mental issues, they cannot speak at Parliament because they're going to ask them, "Are you of sound mind? Are you crazy? Because if you're crazy, if you have mental issues in anything, you are now a void."
Mhm.
These are the things that they want to make certain. So they want to control the populace with the emotions. I'm a nationalist. Am I racist? No, but I stand with the Native American swastika, and it has nothing to do with Nazism. It has everything to do with my culture, and it has everything to do with talking about the truth of the seven grandfather teachings. The seven grandfather teachings is what we need here because everybody lost their moralities thinking that they're owed something, professional freaking victims, and they're not.
Yeah.
You need to stand up for your country because we only have 2 days worth of ammunition if United States decide. And I'll honestly say this: United States is the reason why there's such thing called what do you call it? United Nations. It used to be called the League of Nations. After World War II, United States came to League of Nations and they became United Nations. So guess who owns the United Nations with all their funding and everything? I'd like to say the perverse ideology of democracy starts south of the border, and a lot of those trucker convoys, those convoy leaders, are getting paid by people south of the border because they know that Canada cannot take care of itself if it was to go to war against Canada because everybody and their dog lost their guns and everything. No offense to anybody, but that's my ideology, and that's what I believe where the Federal Reserve came from is the United States. So
Yeah. Monica hits us with both of us with a good question here. Hi, Rudy and Adrian. The both of you are so right. I truly believe we need to hit Ottawa again. How can we make this happen? What are your thoughts?
you want to go
Uh,
first, or do you want me to?
you go first. I'll go second.
I believe Ottawa and the East Coast Native Americans will stop you, because they're more liberalized than the West Coast Native Americans. Those guys have been bought and paid for. There's a thing called, what do they call it, a Cree, a governance of the Cree nations that are led by liberalized white people that say that they're Native Americans. They have the MNO over there, what do they call the Métis Nations of Ontario, which should not exist because they're not from the what do you call Batac area all the way to the Red River. A lot of them are, but not of all of them. There are a lot of white people that are taking liberalizational treaty cards so that way they could take over land. So that would be a hard place. That would be the last place I'd go to. The first thing first is coming to the hot spot, which is the West Coast, which is either Saskatchewan or Alberta. At the same time, too, we have to reconciliation for Native Americans does not start by $100,000 getting paid to Native Americans. It starts by going to your municipal government with your own people
Yes.
and asking questions because these are the things that need to happen. We need to start with our own rally with our own people. We have to go to our
Yeah.
own municipal government and say we don't want no pride walks. We don't want no pride. We don't want nobody to take our children. Screw the Antifa because they're all bought and paid for by the liberal government. What we need to do is stand up in our glory first. If we don't know who we truly are, then we don't know anything in Ottawa. That's the first one.
Yeah.
Second thing is we need to stand up together in something righteous, and that's saving the water, saving the land for our own people, not international communities such as China or the United States or anybody else. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yep. Actually, I'm on the same track as you. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking every province has to start coming together with that set, okay, in the province. All these provinces, every provinces, you should start getting together in mass and start confronting your provincial governments, your municipal governments, and really bring your whole community per province together. Okay, that's where you're going to do the most damage is on a provincial level and a municipal level. Okay, and bring together mass number. Okay, no more pussyfoot, no more bullshit. Start taking it brass roots. Worry about the federal after, but start on your basic province as far as government goes, because in Canada every province is its own country. Okay, so you've got to start there first, and then worry about the federal after. But every province needs to come together in each province massively and heavily. That's what I think.
Yeah. What people have to realize is, like I said, the trucker convoy started by the Asman nations. When
Mm,
we realized that NDP support and 100,000 emails that were getting sent down to the trucker convoy, not the real trucker convoy people, but the other people that wolves led sheep. You know, we have to realize that this is far deeper than you think. A lot
yeah.
of people are getting funded by the south of the border. A lot of people are still getting, there was Rachel Nodley was a part of this. When it came down to even they say clan mother systems. I
Mm,
want you to understand too that there's no such thing as clan mother systems if you're Métis, because you are not treaty status. So you have to come from the land. And these are the fake nations that are going through, whether it's what's her name, Rice Lounder, whether it's people that claim Métis nations and then they claim something else. No, we have to look at the identity of what's really going on, because they're using Native American Indians, uh, that identity, to take over the farmer system, the privatized landowners. And these are the things that we have to confront first. We have to have complete unity. We have to go back to the treaty, because I'm going to let you guys know, all you guys that are on here, you are treaty, because it takes
mm,
two nations to make treaty. I'm treaty. I got rights that you don't have, but you guys got voices that I don't have. So therefore, why don't we work it together and become nationalized and go
yeah.
against the international organizations such as
Yeah.
World Economic Forum? Because what happened in Australia and New Zealand lost 93% of its land already. Australia is already a lost cause. They lost everything due to liberalization, decriminalizing, all these drugs and everything, at the same time taking away guns.
Wow.
So when anybody is taking away guns, you should already know that the government is not there for you. Hopefully that makes
That's
sense.
right. Yeah, that definitely makes sense, because when you give up your guns, you give it up all. You give up everything. That's it. Game over. Because I've seen many, many illustrations of what happened in these countries that did give up their guns, and they got finished right away. That was it. Game over. So
See,
that's
we
the one
started.
thing we can't do is give up. That's like giving up our rights.
It's
Okay?
so true.
Yeah.
The
That's
farmers of Ontario. Sorry to cut you off, but the
no, no, go
farmers
ahead.
of Ontario, I got a message here. They rose against Trudeau, and they started rising that. And I like to say I had a lot to do with that, especially with Joe, and not direct democracy, but democracy direct in Gatineau area.
Mm,
We're the ones that told them, look at what happened in France. And guess what? They started rising over there. We have a good presence in Quebec, ironically speaking. My presence over there, I don't know that, but they said that they like what I say. We need to come together provincially from the west coast to Ottawa, not Ottawa, but Quebec, because Quebec, they understand what's going on. They
yeah.
really do. Those farmers now in the west coast here, farmers are going to have to start getting intertwined with politics, because I'll tell you right now, the west coast does not know politics. They're purposely shunned out of politics if you do not speak the second language. It is
Mm,
designed that way, so that way you cannot take control. Stephen Harper made it in because he understands French, you see.
mm,
But most people don't understand it. Now they're after your land, they're after your water, they're after everything. If they put one endangered tree on your property, you cannot farm there. Go figure. Hopefully that makes sense.
yeah, 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 for sure. Um, well, I tell you, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. I mean, this is not going to happen overnight. As far as what we're talking about, this is something food for thought for everybody to share out there and get that message out there. Because if we give up, that's like we're giving up on this country. And if we can't come together, what's going to happen to your kids? I mean, they're going to just be picking off people left, right, and center. And there's going to be more homeless on the streets. It's going to be an even bigger disaster for a lot of people. Okay. And you've got people out there that are homeless and they've got nothing. Okay. It's people like us that are in touch that can make a difference here. And if we don't take advantage of that, then we're just giving up our country. That's what we're doing by not getting involved in a meaningful way. Then we're basically giving it up. Okay, I refuse to do that. Adrian refuses to do that, I'm sure, as well. Where are you at, Adrian?
I'm in Edmonton. Before I get off here, I wanted to say this, and this is what I truly believe. I truly believe that most of these wars and a lot of things that are here are designed for a reason. And Ukraine, why there's a Ukrainian war, has a lot to do with taking away our ammunition here.
Yeah.
We sent all our equipment to Ukraine. We don't even have 2 days left we don't have 2 days worth of ammunition if there was ever an invasion. The biggest prize in international community is Canada because we have the most richest country on
Yeah.
natural resources alone. And guess who's going to try to take it?
Yeah.
United Nations. And I'd like
Yeah.
to say south of the border. So people have to get wake the fuck up because at the end of the day, Justin Trudeau does not work for us.
Yeah.
He does not. In the World Economic Forum does not work for us. We need to work for ourselves. We need to come together as nationalists because
Yes.
that's what it is. And international communities always say nationalism is Nazis. It's not. Look at the
No.
freaking definition. The
Yeah.
definition means taking care of your water, your people first, and everything within the country first. Your businesses should thrive. It should. And it's kind of funny that Saudi Arabia they pay their people $60,000 a year just to live there, and that's what it is. But yet us, we have to become slaves in the
Yeah.
system. This is a third world country living
Yeah. We got to fix
believing that
this.
it's first world.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
got to
we should.
definitely fix this. I mean, it's up to the people to fix this, not crooked politicians.
Yep.
Okay.
It's up to the
Definitely.
people, and that's why I always believe in cowboys and Indians coming together, not cowboys and
Yeah.
Indians fighting each other. Because cowboys and Indians are a beautiful freaking force if we ever came
Exactly.
together.
And that's what we're working on. I want to thank you for coming in, Adrian. We're going to do this again. And, this was our first run. And I think it was
Yep.
a good run. I really, I think we did a good job here today. Um, and I really hope we can do something because I don't know how much longer we have with what's going on. Trudeau trying to push us into a World War III, along with Biden trying to do that same shit. I mean, we've really got to pull our heads out of our asses here, in my opinion.
Amen. I really believe so too. You can find me on TikTok, Adrian the Realist. You guys can find me there. And for people that follow me and are on this live, thank you guys for joining. Thank you,
Yeah.
Rudy, for bringing
Oh,
Mr. Bruce
anytime,
for bringing me in here.
anytime. I'm very, very proud to have you on as a guest anytime, Adrian. We're gonna do this a number, hopefully a few more times, and I want to get together with you at a rally somewhere.
Yeah.
Definitely, we want to get. I'd like to get that done too, and really give it a kick at the can because it's up to us. Like I say, it's up to us, the people, and the more we can get the message out there, the better I feel, and hopefully people will come together and give it a kick at a can as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to be
Okay.
doing this ND Indian Act Walk pretty soon here. Date is yet to be determined. I have to go to my elders, but at the same time, too, some of those things I have is note to the World Economic Forum. What do you call note to the 15-minute districts, the white man reservation. We need to stand up in your pride and glory, and that's not
Yeah.
racism, but they will use racism because that's what they have always been using. That's a
Yeah,
tactic.
exactly. I don't listen to that side of the coin as far as what they're trying to say because I know in my heart that's not it at all. This is about this country. If you want to live a lie, that's what they do. They live a
Yep.
lie. Okay, they're living a lie of Canada, the lies of Canada, and I don't. This is about the truth of Canada. Okay, that's what the bottom line is. We're the truth behind Canada and what it means to be involved in standing up for your country.
Amen.
Yeah,
I'm not. One of the things I wanted to also say before I said anything,
sure.
I'm not against the Jewish aspect of things, but what I've always said is this: we are the only people in the modern world, Native Americans, that have to go by blood quantum. The only people in a modern world. A long time ago, the Jewish aspect used to be a tribe, a blood tribe, and it became a religion. And
Oh,
this is what they use. They use this kind of ideology in governance, where 85% of all United States businesses are ran or owned by a CEO or a entity of the Jewish conquest. And they use this only because if you question it, you're anti-Semitic. There's nothing wrong with anti-Semitism at all. Well, I'm not anti-Semitist.
no.
I want to say that I'm not anti-Semitist, whatever. I'm not. I'm not against the Jews. I'm not against the aspect of this. But I'm going to tell you, the original concentration camps are here in Canada.
That's right.
It's not over there. We had over 100 million Native Americans die in the conquest of land. And this is what they're still trying to get. No offense to anybody, but that is the truth. That is the truth, and nobody can stop it now. We are working with our counterparts of Canada, Cowboys and Indians United, and that's what we're trying to go for. Nationalism first. Hi,
Right.
hi. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Definitely makes sense. I mean, this was clear cut case of truth. Okay. And they could say whatever they want. All right. But that only goes to show you how desperate they are to come up with their bullshit. You know what I mean? That's what it boils down to. And the more bullshit they come up with, the more scared they must be. Right?
True. Okay,
Obvious.
Rudy, it was really nice. I'm gonna,
It was
hopefully
a
I'll download
slice.
this one. It
It
was
was a
great.
slice. It was good. I want to thank you for coming on again, Adrian. And
Thank
I'll
you.
just do a finish up. And I'm very proud of this moment because it's been a long time since I've been able to do a double camera interview and really get to the heart of the meat. You know what I mean? Voiceover is one thing, but when they can see who's talking and everything, and it just makes it a little more understandable of where we're coming from. And I think we did a fantastic job today.
I think so
Really
too.
do. I
Thank
think
you.
so. You're welcome,
Have a
Adrian.
good day.
Thanks for
You
coming
too.
in, buddy. Okay.
No problem. Yeah, bye.
Okay. Bye bye now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We've been on here for about an hour and 14 minutes now. And I hope you learned something today because if we give up, okay, if we give it up, what are we giving up? We're giving up an awful lot, okay? If we don't pull our heads out of our asses, okay, and finally get it, we keep running around like chickens with their fucking heads cut off. The government keeps laughing at us, okay? But when we finally come together and stand up together, shoulder to shoulder, where it means the most, they ain't going to be laughing anymore. And they're going through a very tough political thing right now with a lot of different shit on their plate. And it's looking that way that they are nervous, to say the least. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll just end with Jamie Nix. And I hope everybody, I wish everybody a happy Canada Day. Mind you, like I say, I'm not celebrating Canada Day until I'll say the guilty people in this country, that pulled off this COVID-19 and the rest of the criminal activity they did in Canada. I hope I'll celebrate then. Don't forget your cups, guys. Or your pen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's coming to the that's coming to the end of the broadcast. Now I just put up my email. If you wish to get a pen sent to you for free, then donate to the Ruddi Bruce broadcast. Donate $20. I'll send you a pen. And if you want to donate more, like $35, then I will send you one of the mugs, the Ruddi Bruce broadcast mug. Okay. A good way to have coffee in the morning is with the Ruddi Bruce broadcast mug. You just send into my email by e-transfer, and I will, and also get a hold of me in Facebook Messenger with your address so that I know where to send it. So that is the email there if you wish to donate to the broadcast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody is doing well, and I want to thank you for joining the broadcast. The next broadcast will be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. 6 a.m. would be a little too early. 6 p.m. Wednesday, and then 6 p.m. again on Friday. And we're going to keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep it going. And I've got lots and lots and lots more for you. So stay tuned. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's Ruddi Bruce, and I'm just getting the word out to y'all. Have a good night, and I hope everybody's okay and everything. And thank you so much for joining. Until next time.